Hello everyone, this is second part of the video JP Morgan, and in this part we'll create this animation along the curve and additionally the animation of one chip. Let's go!
The visual vibe.
As always, all of these materials together with final animation you can find on my Patreon, and I want to say a huge thank you to all of the guys who support me on Patreon, on YouTube, and additionally now you can buy all of this stuff on the fourth wall. Thank you guys. So this is what was created in the previous video. If you did not watch it, please take a look. So we have a chip. Then it starts to rotate. Together with rotation we have more chips, and then it starts slow down, and at the very end we go back to the one chip. That's it. Okay, so we will reuse this what we already have. So as I said, if you did not watch the first part, please take a look. So I'm going to switch here to the solid one, going to change to the random so it will be more visible for me. So I'm going to hit A to select everything on the screen so you can see all of them selected. Go into the timeline here, hit A one more time to select all of the keyframes which we have right now, and hit X to delete all of them. So now we do not have any animations, all of them still. So let's go to the frame 0. I will select our main chip, which is connected to the empty, and I will move it to the center of the composition. Additionally, I think I will remove these two cameras since we don't need them, and the one in the middle stays in the middle. Let's maybe remove the track 2, so it will be a standalone camera. And I'm going to move it by y-axis is fine, by z, and rotation would be 90 degrees, so it will look right into the middle, right? Then I think these guys could be removed. We don't need them actually. We have a collection of these chips. So the first part is actually when we need to move the items along the curve. So going back to our chips, and here as you can see we have two modifiers. The first modifier is array and the second one instance on elements. So if I turn off array, you remember that's for the array we used simple plain, and maybe if someone will start to take a look from this video, I will remove all of this, so we will have only plain right here, which is rotated together with parent empty object. So I will empty also rotate to 0. So we have just plain connected to the empty. Now what we need to do, we need to add there an array modifier. Here we have offset by X, I will change it to Z, and before this we need to add here curve. Right, so we do not have a curve, so there is nothing to show. So let's create a curve. By the way, let me maybe remove this empty guys. I think it was the focus points. So I'm going to shift A, curve, and I will select a path. And as you can see, we added a path right here in the middle. And now I will rotate this path, so I'm hit R, Y, and I will hit 90 degrees. So now it's a vertical path, and let's add some geometry to this one. It will be not that just the line. So I'm going to move this one, I'm going to move this one, maybe add one more point with the E, like extrusion. So I'm selecting the very bottom, hit E, and now as you can see I can add one more. But the problem is that now it's flat, so I'm going to switch from Y to X view, and now let's move them to different parts. So we will have more geometry. Like this. Kinda spiral, but not exactly. Let's go back to the main. Maybe this is too much, so I'm going to squeeze it a little bit by X, so we still have geometry, and apply scale. And now I'm going back to my plane, and here for the array and the curve I will select the curve. So now, as you can see, we have one item right here and one item at the bottom. Let's then increase number of items, so they will be along the curve. And this is the first way to do this, but the second way is to add a curve modifier and select a curve, which is in our case nimbus path. So they will go along the curve. Now if I select again and remove the curve to a line, you can see that they will go like on the X, because we do not have anything like a geometry. So basically there is no thickness, right? So we do not have any extrusion. So what I'm gonna do, I will simply rotate the plane by X or Y for 90 degrees. And as you can see, now we have all of these items along the curve. And the cool thing why we're using the plane instead of just simply use our items right away, that's if we're using the plane instead of real geometry, we will have deformation because of curve to the planes, not to the real geometry, because we will have instances on the planes, on the surface. So now we're going back to the modifiers, and we will add their instance on elements. And now we need to select object or collection, and of course we will select collection. In our case this is the coins. We have 48 of them. We have a keep surface here, and as you can see, yeah, we have something strange happens, but this is because we need to, here we will hit pick instance, and after this we also hit here random. By default it's selected random. So as you can see, it shows the points right here, but we can change it from the points to the faces, so we'll have just one, because this is the plane and plane have just one face. Maybe we can realize instance remove. Now let's simply increase in array modifier number of items and decrease the offset. I think Z could be 0, it will not even affect the animation. Going back to instance and elements, and here we have keep surface, so we can turn it off and we will not see the plane. So this is how simply we can add it. By the way, by offset you can change the basically the gap between different items, and of course you can increase the count, so we will have more of them. As you can see, they go in much more out of the curve, right? So let's take a look at the camera view. This is exactly what we need to achieve, just with one small thing that I will hit here for the array modifier randomize. And for the randomization I will a little bit increase the rotation by all of the axes. I think just like, I don't know, up to 10 degrees would be definitely enough. If you want to, you can also increase flipping. But does it mean that? That means that it will flip by different axes, different items, as you can see, and vertically of course. Yeah, we don't need to increase the scale because basically we'll change the size. So we will go with this one, and now we just need to animate it. So I'm going to select the plane, I'm going to hit here I to add a keyframe, I'm going to the frame, let's say 120, and I'm going to the location and Z. So now if I change the Z location, you can see that I'm simply animate the position for all of the items along the curve. So I have the second one, and let's decrease the number of frames, so we will have around 4 seconds for this animation. As you can see, it starts a little bit slow, and then it's a little bit faster in the middle, and then it slowly stops at the end. If you want to, you can switch it, simply hit right click on the mouse and change the interpolation mode to linear. That means that the speed will be always the same. It will be, I would say, pretty hard to loop this animation because you have a random seed for all of the items, but if you want to, you can find the way to loop it. I would go with simple linear, so this is basically it for this part of animation. And now let's move to the second part with the one chip actually. So I'm going to, I will not create a new one probably, I will just simply take one chip right here. I will hide all of the coins. I will remove this and also this. Maybe I will remove everything. I will just simply leave just one mesh coin. Let's move it right in the middle. This is our main hero for this scene. There we go. And we need to add some kind of stairs, I would say. So let's create the stairs. I will add simple cube. I will decrease it in a scale. So I'm going to hit S. Then I'm going to hit 0.5. So we'll make it 2 times smaller. And let's do this the same, 0.5. Now we have a small cube. Let's do it one more time, so it will be one more time smaller. Of course I can do this like 0.25, but I wanna see how small it is actually. Now let's hit S, Y, so we'll increase the scale by Y axis, and I will hit 8, so it will be 8 times bigger. One more time, hit S, hit X, and let's say 3. So we will have one stair with this size. Additionally, I will select this face for the stair, hit E and 0.25. That's it. Now one more time, I will select this face at the top, hit E 0.25. So we will have 2 squares, this one and this one, and this is one of our stairs. Now we need to multiply it, so it will be actual stair. So I'm going to hit here array modifier, and I need to increase the Z axis. I think we'll do it like this, and additionally like this, so we can actually calculate, and this will be 0.75, and this would be 1.25. Oh, it's just simply 1. Yeah, just 1. So now they are equal, and we can increase number of stairs like this. And now let's create the second part, the bottom part. So I'm going to add here a cube. I will decrease it for 0.25. This is the size which we have, and I think we need to make it 1.5 times bigger. So I'm hit S 1.5, and as you can see, it perfectly match here. There we go. Let's take a look on the right coordinates. Okay, and now I will add the array modifier. I can just simply change the scale by z-axis, which will also work in the same manner. So as more we have, as more precise we need to be. So in this case, I will increase it to 9. And here at the very top, I will change the Z to this. So we have absolutely small, maybe 9. Yeah, 9 would be enough. So the gap is small. And I will move the item to the front. So we will have it at the very first one. Let's align the two corners, go back to the X location, and this will be 0.25, and this one would be minus 0.5. That's it. We can add one more in account for the array modifier, and now let's apply the scale by y-axis, so they will be even as y, like this. Let's take a look by y, by x, 375 here, 375 here. It's totally fine. So this is the bottom part. And we also need to add here a front part. It'd be easier just simply create a new cube, move it into the front, scale it by X, scale it by Z, like this, and this will be 0.25, and this would be 0.375. So they are aligned, and for the location minus 0.5, so you can see we just simply go into the closest item, which is equal to quarter or half. So now this one is in the front. Now we need to add the floor, or we can simply move the stair a little bit to the top. So I'm going to increase a new plane, which is also our floor, 10 times, and then additionally I will move stair to the top together with this guy, GZ, and right here. So now they are above the surface. Now let's move our main item to, let's say, 1, 2, 3, third. Yeah, third would be enough. Maybe a little bit bigger. Apply scale and move it on the surface like this. Now we need to add two walls, one behind Y, second behind X-axis. So I'm going to add a plane rotated by X for 90 degrees and move it behind again 10 times. So it will be the same. And maybe I will simply duplicate it, rotate it for 90 degrees and move it right here. So this will be 10 and this would be a 0. For this one I think 5 would be enough, maybe a little bit more, like this. So this is our stair. Now let's set up camera. So camera will start animation from this view, so basically in front. I will go into hit here camera and view align to active camera like this. 90-90, and I will just simply move it a little bit so the item would be right in the middle like this. Let's take a look. We do not have any materials, so I think this guy at the very top would be created from concrete. I'm going to the shader editor, new, I will call it concrete. I will add the color ramp, so we'll have different colors for the noise texture and connect it to the factor. For the noise texture, don't forget to hit Ctrl-T to add node wrapper and texture coordinate. So I'm going to switch from generated to the object. By the way, for the object itself, let's apply scale. Same for the second one and for the third one. Now for this one, I will move a little bit the colors like this and change the color from black to gray and increase the scale. Now let's duplicate the color ramp. I'm going to connect it again and add here displacement. Connect color ramp to height and then displacement to displacement of material output. So now we see that we have it on the surface. Additionally, we can add one more noise texture, so I'm going to duplicate it, increase the scale and connect it to normal, but between the noise texture and normal we will add a bump and reconnect from normal to height. So we'll have extra texture right here. Strength could be a little bit smaller, but we increase the scale. There we go, this is our concrete. Okay, then the front part would be wood. I think I will simply find the wood material or maybe even plywood. I want to find the procedural one. Maybe this one. And for this one it will be simple wood, so I'm going to add there a color ramp, add here a noise texture also, then I will change the color from white to light yellow, something like this, like a nude color, and dark one would be dark brown, maybe not this dark, and this one a little bit lighter. So this is what we have. Let's add here also mapping and texture coordinate. For the scale I will decrease it. I will increase details up to 7.6. I will increase distortion and a little bit lacunarity, and then scale by I think in this case it will be X to something like 0.5. Let's take a look at the rendered version, and I will change to cycles. We need to add the sun. I'm going to light, sun, and let's move it out of the scene somewhere here, rotated by Y like this, and increase strength up to 8 or maybe 5 would be enough, just with more angle, so we will have soft edges and soft shadows. So this is our materials. Let's add one more light at the top, so it will be simple area to fill with the light the scene. And let's duplicate the sun and move it somewhere here with just 2 points of strength and a little bit more harsh, so the angle will be smaller. Let's take a look on the camera. Okay, I think we need to make the concrete a little bit darker, so I will change white here to gray. Yeah, it's fine. And for the wood, I would desaturate it, so I will add the hue saturation value and change the saturation to something like 0.7. And now I think I will change a little bit the plywood, so let's take a look on the other materials, maybe something more light like this one. I will just simply change a little bit the color, again using the saturation. So I'm going to find here hue saturation value. I want to decrease saturation and change the hue a little bit, so it will be more yellow, like this. Let's take a look in the rendered version, so I'll switch to Eevee and I will turn on the retracing, like this. So it's a little bit closer to cycles. Now we need to animate it, so I already have a camera. I think it will be something like rendered version. So we have 150 frames, go into 0, and let's animate camera first. So we have a camera in this position. I will create there the empty, so it will be a point of focus for the camera, and I will move it next to the item, because if we connect it to the item, then together with animation of the item we will see how the camera will jump. So we don't need this, so I will simply add here the empty and I will call it focus. Now if you go into the camera settings, here we have a depth of fields and we have to select here focus, and additionally go into the camera constraints and add in track 2, and here we also need to select focus. So now, as always, as I previously showed you guys, if we move the camera, it will always be pointed to the empty. But additionally, I will also connect camera to the empty with object parent object. So now, if I rotate the empty, it will also rotate by curve the camera, so it will not move like linearly, it will move along the curve, basically a circle. So this would be 0, then we will have somewhere at the frame 12 in this position, then we will move to the frame, let's say 132. I will move it somewhere here, and at this point I will switch to another view. So I will rotate it one more time, and let's take a look what we have. This is our view initial. So we have a fast appearance, then we have a slight rotation, and then we have rotation more going out of the scene. So previously I used the beta easing, but in this tutorial I'll show you how to use graph editor to adjust the speed. So we need to, these guys here, start really fast. So I'm going to hit here, right click on the mouse, and on the handle type I will select free. That means now that for this element I can change it for free. They are not equal. It's kinda work like in Figma, for example. So I will switch it like this, and for this one actually I will use the aligned, so it will be more accurate and more smooth animation for the camera. So that means that it starts really fast and then slows down. Then we go into the very end, which is right here, and we'll do the same but for this one. So I will switch it to the free, and I will change direction to vertical like this. So we'll have almost linear in the middle, and then at the very end it will again jump. So let's take a look how it looks right now. So we get into the scene. You know what, maybe 5 seconds is too much, and I will decrease it to 3 or 4, so it will be around 90 or 120 frames. So we just need this part, this and this. Together with the motion blur, it will be almost seamless transition between two different frames. So let's go back to the timeline, and I will decrease it down to something like 120, and this one a little bit smaller too, so the last frame would be 120. Now we need to animate the jumping chip right here. I'm going to the y-axis. The start position would be somewhere here. Going to hit I. So we have appearance of the camera somewhere at the frame 12, I think. So at the frame 18, going back to the very bottom here. And let's simply do the jumping, because as I said, I will use the graph editor. So let's go to the graph editor. This is our jumping. I will hit here normalize, but for these guys here. And I will increase a little bit scale, yeah, like this. So it should go to the bottom right here, and I'm going to switch again handle type for free. And the thing is that it also should drop, right? So I will change here direction to this, and then to this. So it will go to the top, and then again to the bottom. So these guys should be a little bit moved to the down. And the last one also like this. So we have like the coordinates for jumping, and maybe one more small one here. So just simply add y, and I will change free like this. So we'll have one more small jump. Now we need to have the movement by x-axis. So it should a little bit get like, you know, the Disney presets for animation. It should go a little bit back, so it's rolling, and but we will add the rotation a little bit later, and then it should go to the edge right here. So let's set up now the x-axis. So this is the initial one, and I will move them a little bit to the front, right here. So you see that the difference is not big, right? So we need to create it more like a spring, I would say. So here it's fine. Maybe even like this. And then jump into the wall like this. So now let's go back to the timeline. This is what we have so far. Maybe this range is too big, so I will a little bit decrease it like this. And I will also increase the jumping part. So I'm selecting all of the keyframes, hit S and simply increase scale. Now let's add the rotation. So this is the initial position. I will add here Y to the keyframes to all of them. And then here I will add the rotation. This is too much. Like this. And then rotation to the front like this. Now we need to go back again to the timeline graph editor and find here rotation by Y. And what we need to do here for rotation by Y, so I will turn off the rest of them, just rotation by Y, and we will change it to linear. What happens with z-axis? Let's check. Going back again to graph, z location. Oh, I see. We have here 3 and it should be aligned with the ground. There we go, going back to the timeline, and let's now align the camera with this animation. So the idea is that as soon as this chip hits the stair, we need to go to another frame. So it's somewhere here, and I think this would be like this. So that means that I will decrease number of frames. And I see that we have extra rotation. Maybe it's too linear. Let's change it. So I'm going to the Y. And I will change it here to Bezier. And let's adjust it. So we have rotation here. This one I will make a little bit linear. And then this one starts too fast, so it should be fast at the end, not at the beginning. Like this. Let's take a look. Okay, and let's adjust camera again. So I'm going to select the empty, and it hits right here. That means that we should be a little bit faster. Now let's set up a little bit the camera and also the light. I'm going to select our sun number 1 and let's switch here to split view. This would be a rendered version, and next to it we'll check where's the sun. So sun looks right in front, and I think we can move the wall a little bit and make the sun less soft, and maybe change the angle so it will be more from the left, like this, from the right, sorry. Let's increase strands and maybe add a little bit yellow so it will look more like a sun. Then additionally we have to add here another one, and as you remember, we have at the top we have the light. For this light I will also decrease spread so it will be a little bit more strong, I would say, right? So they will be more strong edges. And the second sun will also fill with the light the scene. Okay, and maybe then this wall could be moved a little bit. I don't want to see black hole. And again, it will be just for a sec, so I don't think that this could be an issue. And of course, if you want to, you can add an extra spotlight, like spots, just to highlight the main object a little bit more. So I'm going to rotate it right in front of the object, and then by z-axis somewhere here I will increase the power, and I will also decrease the angle, so it will be really pointed into the object. And this is actually how we can create the second part. Now let's create the third part of this animation, and I'm going to check the Figma, because here I have prepared some references. So this is what they have. They have the beautiful chip with gold side on the edges, then in the middle they have the glass with white texture with color, and the gradient for the color it's inside, like the emission. Additionally, they have the echo. If you used the After Effects, they have the echo effect. So it's basically like I don't know, the copies or shadows for the object, in this case when it moves, again like the echo in After Effects. And the thing is that while this chip going through this light kinda barrier, it will be changed from this to this. So as you can see, here we have small circles in the middle, and here we have one big circle. So let's try to create two textures. So I'm going to hit here O in Figma to create a circle. I will remove the fill, I will add a stroke. In my case it will be red, so it will be just simply more visible. Then I will decrease the scale, duplicate it, and increase the stroke up to 8. Copy it one more time, decrease the scale, and decrease also the stroke down to 4 probably. Let's duplicate it one more time and decrease the scale one more time and decrease the scale. So we will achieve kind of similar texture as they do. The top part I think could be removed, because this is just actually the shape of the circle. So now if I select all of them together and create, let's say, a frame, we will call it circle before, because then we will have a circle after. And after means that's after this transition of this kind of light barrier. If I remember correctly, it's some kind of check-in for JP Morgan, I mean data or something like this. So what they do, they have stronger stroke for the the big one. So I will increase it up to 10, maybe even 12. And then I will remove these two guys here. And this one would be increased up to 8. And also increased in diameter. Okay, maybe even 10. I know what, I will even remove the black color. Oh, even no, I will remove white color. So we'll have two PNGs. And I will switch here from black to white. So we'll actually have just white circles. And now I will export them to Figma as a PNG. Okay, going back to Blender. I will connect all of these guys to one. I will create a new collection. I will call it scene 3, and I will turn it off. So we will have again empty scene like this. The camera also would be moved to the scene 3. This is actually it for this part, and in next part we will create a chip and we'll create the animation for the chip. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more useful content. Thank you.
The Visual Vibe.